Did you just read that? I cannot believe she wrote that. That's the problem that we're having. Over the past several years, it's often overlooked the dangers of social networking and what it has become since it's evolved. I've always wondered, what is the point of social networking? Why do we have this? I know it's a scapegoat for myself and for my friends, but why was it involved? According to Urban Concoctions, an online blogger, these various social medias were put in place to network with people across broad distances at any given time. But through my research, I've discovered that although I am a social networker and I do like to use Facebook all the time, there are many, many, many risks to having and being involved with social networking. The overall reaction of social networking is intentionally crime. We have a crime of addiction, a crime in general like bullying, and a crime of privacy. People are losing themselves on the internet. One of the scariest things that you can become with is addiction. The word addiction has played a minor role in social media work. People don't take it seriously. People don't think that it's a serious problem when there is an addiction, when people use social media as a scapegoat. Human beings are drawn to addiction. There's lots of drug users and money gamblers, but people overlook the fact that there's an addiction to being always online. As stated by Rhea, most people find a deep satisfaction and pleasure using Twitter, for example. Probably have a deep psychological need that is not being met emotionally in, in their normal everyday life. You've lost yourself, basically. You're gone. You need to find something to fulfill yourself, to help yourself become who you think you want to be. Um, the extent that people go through to make sure there's time for use of social networking, um, I use social networking every day. I use it for my work. I use it for my personal things. I use it for my hobbies. I use it to let other people know what I'm doing, what they're doing, what's going on in their life, what specials we have at work, what specials I have for my hobbies. It's an everyday thing. And even though I don't consider it, it is an addiction. The social platforms, because it's an addiction, have led to crime. Teen bullying is one of the highest. When little girls get online and they see that people are talking about them and they're putting them down, they're telling them they're a loser, that they hate them. This causes suicide, anger issues, depression. The social network is supposed to be used for expression, and according to Tucker, he said, shut them down, not entirely down. Everything I've written still applies, but there are uses and there are abuses. The trick is to tell the difference and act on it. The difference. There is a difference. People tend to forget that this is fake. This is people's mind and world. This is something that's not real. The real thing is on the outside, not what we read, but what people say. This is an scapegoat. Perpetrators are accessing social networking and use it for self-purposes. Images of little children on the computer. I actually just posted a picture of my kids on Facebook, and it was overlooked by it was looked at by Facebook because they were in the bathtub. I didn't really think of it as a bad thing, but now that I think of it, that is a bad thing. Perpetrators could be out there looking at my kids. Do you want that to happen? Do you want them to look at your kids? Do you want your kids to read things like this? Without the proper regulations for using social networking sites, there is no telling how far people will go. That's the thing. How far will they go? How far are they going to react on not having the regulations of people knowing who is sitting on the other side of the screen? When an individual creates a social networking account, that person's profile is open, available to anyone who uses the internet. Anyone. Did you know that? Anyone. Guess what? They got your name, your face, they got your social security card, your credit cards. They got everything because you signed up. You've lost your privacy. You're giving up your right when you agree to accept the terms and conditions of a social platform. Social networking can reflect on what type of job you hold. Do you know if you put a bad comment on the internet, that if your future employer goes on the internet and looks at your Facebook, they might not hire you. They might not take you seriously as an employee for their company. That's another thing that you have to throw in besides your interview, your resume. How much you're going to ask and what you're going to get paid. Social networking is a really big issue. People overlook it. The overwhelming life through social media has become a downfall for many people. Social media has played a major part in the introduction to many people not giving the right direction for their kids. Just go sit down on the computer, go play, while your identity is being stolen. Your children are getting perped on. People are using it as a crime, as an addiction. They're on it all the time. They don't want to focus on schoolwork. Now they want to be on the computer. I know how it is. I do it all day. According to Who's Watching, you should limit what you post. Don't share things that make you vulnerable to unwanted contact. That's the hardest thing, isn't it? We want everyone to know everything about us, but we want them to know nothing about us. I want people to know who I am. I want people to know who my kids are. But I need to learn the limits that I have to set forth for what I do, for what I post. Overall, protect yourself. The social media has become a new way of life. However, I believe it just causes easy access to those that would like to do wrong to others. Basically, there's a issue with social media. We've let ourselves become drawn to this, become enraged by the fact that this exists, this whole fake environment life. But we need to draw ourselves back out. We need to become real again. We need to take ourselves seriously. And with that, there is a danger. Be aware. Be aware. We need to help others help ourselves by learning about the danger of social